Joining me right now is Lieutenant Governor and Secretary of State of Puerto Rico, Luis Rivera Marin. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for the invitation, Kate. And our prayers are with our brothers and sisters that are right now getting ready for being hit by such a monumental storm. And I just spoke recently with Lieutenant Governor Forrest from North Carolina. Certainly our prayers for the first responders that were in Puerto Rico almost a year ago, helping us to recover.
That's and that is some important perspective about the states coming together and officials helping each other out in these times. To what the president said yesterday, to what the president said today, do you call Hurricane Maria, the response to it, an unsung success?
Let me tell you that to put this in the proper perspective, we were hit by the largest natural disaster ever recorded in American history. Certainly there were challenges to the local government, to the federal government in approaching the recovery of the island. There was great suffering. Just one casualty is too much. Certainly there were many levels of bureaucracy that play a role here, and I had conversation with Administrator Long. We were before Congress recognizing that for proper response, for a timely response, the layers of bureaucracy need to be taken care of, which allow local government to respond properly. Our condition as an island, whereby we lost our airports and our ports, proposed many challenges that were never faced before. We have learned, there have been lessons learned, and even in the protocol, when we speak about the casualties, we just recently, the Governor Ricardo Rosselló issued a mandate to have a George Washington University set out an investigation.
You mentioned one death is unacceptable, one death is too many. And you also mentioned lessons learned. The president was asked, that was the question the president was asked yesterday, of lessons learned from Hurricane Maria. And that was when he said this was an unsung success. If one death is too much, it's roughly the same number of people who died after Hurricane Maria as died on 9/11. How was that an unsung success?
Well, the magnitude of this event, probably the numbers, if we have not gotten the support of federal government, the support of thousands of volunteers from the main island that came down to the island right after the hurricane, this would have been a different story regarding the death toll.
You're saying it would have been even worse, which is understandable, but still, 2,975 people died in Puerto Rico. Are you calling it an unsung success?
What I'm saying is that there was a response, and that we did learn that because of our condition as a territory, we do have, this is something that was in place not 1 year ago, but has been happening for decades, whereby Puerto Rico, because of our condition, we don't get the same health care funds. We don't get the same treatment as other U.S. citizens in other territories. So our electric grid was fragile compared to what probably is in place now in North and South Carolina. And that requires a proper attention. But moving forward, we had more than 20,000 federal employees in the island, boots on the ground, adding to volunteers. And without the federal government support, this would have been a different story. This should not be treated as a political ball. You know, it is an issue whereby.
But yes? I think it was a very simple question that was asked of the president when he said it was an unsung success. It was, have lessons been learned? And that's why I'm asking you a really simple question. And tell me why you're hesitant, if you are to answer it. Just give it to me straight. If the president says it's an unsung success, do you agree with him?
Well, put it in plainly, we had the support in place. We cannot, the amount and the size of the recovery will take probably decades in Puerto Rico. And put it in a blunt way, you cannot look at the immediate response. We are working with federal government in the reconstruction in Puerto Rico to make us more resilient. And we've had support from the federal government since day one.
I understand,
and that
Lieutenant Governor. I totally understand.
Day.
I totally understand. But could you answer my question? Is it an unsung success? Would you do it? Would you have had the federal government do nothing differently?
We would have required a faster response if we have the airports open, the capacity to receive because of our condition. There were lessons learned, and things could have been managed in a more efficient way. And those lessons that we learned, that FEMA learned, you can see them being implemented right now as we face today this new emergency.
I'll try one more time. When the president says it was an unsung success, the federal response to Hurricane Maria, do you agree with him today?
I can tell you that today we have recovered, that today Puerto Rico is rebounding in tourism, that today we are rebuilding Puerto Rico, and that is thanks to the help that we're getting from the federal government in our recovery moving forward to become a more resilient jurisdiction whereby our people can prosper.
Lieutenant Governor Luis Rivera Marin, thank you for your time.
Thank you.